Hi and welcome back. Today we are going to go to the prison, to the carnival. My son was pretty excited about this. He was there the year before and I hadn't been approved yet to visit, so he only got to watch from inside. And it's funny because knowing him, this isn't something that I think he would normally be excited about, but when you're spending time, and he does get out to work, but when you're locked behind a fence, these little things are a big thing, and it was fun for me just to see how happy it made him. So I pull up and I get there. I'm really not expecting too much, and I was amazed at what they'd done. They had a lot of decorations. You go inside, and usually where they have tables and you visit, this was more of a place where they were giving little kids, before they went outside, they were giving them t-shirts, and I think they might have had sweatshirts, and they had a guy in there that wanted you to sign a waiver because they had a giant slide in the back, and it was pretty steep. I think it was pretty steep getting up the back to climb up it. I don't know, I didn't look, but I was telling him I don't need to sign the waiver because I'm not going to be using that slide. And he kind of laughed and he said, no, that's fine, but just, you need to sign the waiver to go back there. And then you get a little wrist bracelet. And I walk out, and it's completely decorated out there. There's music playing. There's games set up all over the place for little kids to play. There was one game that was like with a plastic hatchet, and I played that, and I kept hitting the bullseye. And they said, that's really good, but we've never seen anybody throw like you. And I guess apparently you're not supposed to throw underhanded, but hey, it worked. There was a little golf game. There was a fishing game, and they had a cute little boat set up, and you get in the boat and there's a guy on the other side, and there was kind of a board between the boat and him, and he puts the fishing wire down there, and I kept catching stuff, and I completely pretended like I didn't see the guy bent down back there. So anyway, I'm getting all these little kid toys, but it was fun. They had face painting. I think my favorite was the bowling. Now this is just, little kids game, and I don't know what was in my mind. I do things like this quite often, and I'm looking at my son saying, my fingers won't fit in the hole. And he's looking at me going, what? And he's like, are you serious, Mom? He's like, this is a little kid's game. They're not supposed to fit. Just pick up the ball and throw it. So I got some strikes. Anyway, they had cotton candy, just all kinds of stuff. There was a corn maze, and I'm really impressed with their effort. I will say, fortunately for me, it would be pretty hard to get lost in that corn maze, but they had one. And they had a photo place set up where you could get a picture. And just overall, it was just a beautiful day. Then there was tables set up, and they had tarps over them, and I believe my son told me that these tarps were like what firemen had used, or maybe they were their tents. I'm not really sure, but it was nice because it was getting warm out, even though it was in October, and yeah, it was really nice to have that shade. And I was introduced to a lot of his friends, and you know what? I mean, they're sober, they're clean, they're just people. And if I'm being honest, sometimes I like those people better than some of the real people in the world, because these people are genuine, I don't know. I've always kind of had that side to me where I just like real people. It was really hard looking around to know who was the inmate and who was visiting, because they were wearing normal clothes, and I mean, even the officers and everybody that was there, they were all dressed in normal clothing. So there was nothing scary for little kids. And I just found it really enjoyable. But we were sitting there for just a bit after we'd played all of our games, and we're talking, and I see my son just kind of looking away, and he looks back at me and he's like, oh, he's like, Mom, he's like, I feel so bad. One of the guys in his dorm had been in there, well, he'd been moved over to the dorm just recently, but he'd been there a long time and hadn't ever really had any visitors. And he said the guy was so excited that he had a family member coming, and they were going to be bringing his daughter, and he was so excited. He'd got out new clothes that he'd ordered, and was doing his hair. And right before my son had came out, this guy, they told him, or this guy, they said, well, your family hasn't showed up, but as soon as they do, we'll still let them in. And this is near the end of the carnival, and my son and I are sitting there, and he's like, he never came out. Like, his family didn't show up. And like, I love that about him, because, you know, he can feel for other people, and it was sort of, I was sad. I felt sad. I mean, can you imagine being somewhere like that and just being so excited to see somebody and they don't show up? So anyway, enough about that. Kind of wanted to end it with, not too long after that carnival, I was on my way to the grocery store, and I got a call from my son, and he was like, oh my gosh, you've got to listen to this song. I just listened to a song by Morgan Wallen called Thought You Should Know. And he's like, I just thought of you. I just thought of us, Mom, and I want you to listen to it. So again, I think anybody who's a mom should listen to this. It's Thought You Should Know by Morgan Wallen. And instead of getting out of my car and running in to get my groceries, of course, I had to Google the song. And I played it, and oh my gosh, it was heartwarming. One other thing, I always keep forgetting to share that I wanted to share. My son always had pet names for people, and the mother of his child and his girlfriend at the time, and I think still to this day, he calls her Criddle. He called my dog Austin Audie, and I was Critty. Well, I didn't like that. I found that kind of annoying. I didn't really want to be Critty. And it just became a thing. Everybody he knew. Everybody was like, Critty, hey Critty. People would come over to my house and I'd hear, Critty, where are you? Critty, come down here. Critty, we love you. And I'm like, really? But you know what? I think he has around, if everything goes as planned, I think he has around 9 months left. And I look forward to the day he walks in the door and I want to be Critty. He can call me Critty. So I think in the next video we will talk about the holidays and kind of how lonely it is and how we have to get through and be with other family and I mean, appreciate everything we have, but we always know there's somebody missing. So I think we'll cover that in the next one. Okay, don't forget to like, share, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one.